Hi, grade 12s. Today we're going to look at the balance sheet of a company, also known as a statement of financial position. So what's in a balance sheet? The balance sheet quite simply lists all the assets, liabilities, and owner's equity of a business. So let's get started. The first part of the balance sheet is my asset section, and we break down the asset section into three sections, namely the tangible assets, the financial assets, and the current assets. But let's take it one step at a time. And so I will always start by telling the reader what I am listing. And so we are listing assets. And we break it down. And remember, we start from the most difficult to get rid of to the least difficult to get rid of. And so it is in that order. And so my fixed assets, if I look at note 3, which is tangible assets, are 220,000 Rand. I then move on to my financial assets, and we look at our investments, and here I've got 80,000 minus 20,000, and I'm going to explain that later, but it is important, and that's why I've put it in here, just to make you aware of the importance of investments before we get there. If I now have a look and I say, here's my 220,000, and I draw a little box, plus my 60,000 gives me an answer of 280,000. And so for any reader of the balance sheet, we will have fixed assets are valued at 280,000 Rand, and then we show the breakdown of how we arrived at 280,000 Rand. Let's look at the tangible assets or fixed assets. This amount is obtained from the carrying value of note number 3 of the notes to financial statements. And it's important that you know that it is the carrying value. Now, if I were to ask you which GAAP principle was applicable here, you would give me the answer of, think about it, prudence. Why? Prudence is being conservative. And so we are showing our fixed assets or our tangible assets at a reduced value. And the reduced value or the carrying value is cost price minus accumulated depreciation. Now, we've done that in grade 10 and 11, so I'm not going to go into too much detail there, other than, again, looking at the balance sheet, I've got my fixed assets, I've got tangible assets, comes from note number 3, 220,000 Rand. Let's now look at our financial assets. Should an investment mature during the coming financial year, the portion that will be maturing is no longer a fixed asset. Because remember, a fixed asset is an asset that we're going to have for a year or longer. So the portion that is maturing, we have to convert from a fixed asset to a current asset, and that will be shown in note number 6, cash and cash equivalents. So let's go over that. The part of the financial asset or the investment that is maturing has to be converted or subtracted from the fixed asset of an investment and converted into a current asset. And you'll remember that a current asset is an asset which changes within 12 months. So let's have a look. Here I've got my fixed assets, my tangible assets, note number 3, we've dealt with that. And a subheading of the fixed assets is my financial assets. And here I have my investment. And remember, it's important to show bracket work because you will get marks for bracket work. And so the original investment was 80,000, and I can conclude because I have subtracted 20,000 Rand, that 20,000 Rand will be maturing in the coming year. And so the fixed portion of the investment is 60,000 Rand. Now let's look at current assets, and I'm going to come back to that 20,000 Rand. Just bear in mind, keep that at the back of your memory. So the current assets consists of 3 items. They must be listed in the correct order. And so why is that important? Because as I mentioned earlier, we list everything from the most difficult to get rid of, or the most fixed, to the least fixed. And so we've got inventories, note number 4. Then we have trade and other receivables, note number 5. And then we have our note number 6, cash and cash equivalents. And this is the note that I want to pay particular attention to. Inventories and trade and other receivables remains exactly the same as it was in grade 10 and 11. But let's have a look here at cash and cash equivalents. I've got 50,000 Rand, which was presumably the money in the bank. I've got 6,000 Rand, which was my cash float. I've got 4,000 Rand, which was my petty cash. And now I have got plus 20,000 Rand. And that is the portion of the investment that is maturing. And so if we were to go back, you would see that your 60,000 Rand of your investment, let's just see if I can get that. There we go. Can you see here? We subtracted 20,000 Rand from the investment, and we're converting it from a fixed asset to a current asset. And here is the current asset. And so my 60,000 plus my 20,000 comes back to my original investment of 80,000 Rand. I have simply split the investment into a fixed asset portion and into a current asset portion. Please, this is a frequently asked question. Let's just put it there again. I'm sure you're getting used to me saying frequently asked questions. So put your thinking caps on, learn it, because it's going to be asked. Let's now look at the shareholders' equity and liabilities. So the shareholders' equity consists of note number 7 and note number 8. The share capital plus the retained income. And when I add those two together, I get shareholders' equity. So you need to learn that shareholders' equity consists of my share capital, or sometimes called ordinary share capital, plus my retained income. And these totals come from the relevant notes in the notes to financial statements, which are then transferred to the balance sheet. So let's have a look at it. Here I've got shareholders' equity and liabilities, shareholders' equity. And again, if I were to put a little box around there, and I've got ordinary share capital, note number 7, 220,000 Rand. I've got my retained income, note number 8 of 80,000. And if I add those two together, it equals my 300,000 Rand. So that's quite simple, and we can just refer to your notes. Next, we're going to look at the liabilities section of the balance sheet. So liabilities are divided into 2. We have our long-term liabilities, which we will have for longer than 1 year, and we have our current liabilities, which we will have for less than 1 year. Let's look at the long-term liabilities again. So this section, 9 times out of 10, consists of loans. Okay, so a loan is money we have borrowed from a financial institution usually, and we will be repaying the loan with interest. We are going to do exactly the same with the long-term loan that we did with our investments. So we're going to separate the portion that we're going to pay back in the coming year from the long-term loan. So the portion of the loan that will be repaid in the coming financial year will be subtracted from the loan and added to either current liabilities or to the note, trade, and other payables. Again, we have done this in grade 11, so it's a little bit of revision. So just remember that the amount of the long-term loan plus the amount of the current or the short-term loan will add up to the original value of the loan. However, sometimes you are given a statement from the bank or the financial institution or from whoever you have borrowed the money from, showing the activities during the year. There will be the opening balance plus the interest on the loan, because remember, we don't get it for nothing, we have to pay for it, minus the portion of the loan that is converted to a short-term loan. And again, will you please show these amounts in brackets? Marks are allocated. So even if you get 2 out of 3 amounts correct, you will get some marks. And because you've shown the answer in brackets, you will get a method mark even if the amount is incorrect. So gather as many marks as you possibly can. So let's have a look at it. Here I have my loan amount of 100,000 plus 20,000 Rand, which would be the interest on the loan, minus, and let's get a color here, 30,000 Rand. So in the coming year, I will repay 30,000 Rand of the loan. Again, I'm emphasizing we have to convert the long-term loan to the short-term liability or short-term loan. Short-term loan is a current liability, as you well know. So now if I said 100 plus 20 gives me 120,000 minus the 30,000, which is the portion I'm going to repay, I've got 90,000 Rand. And draw a box around there, and you've indicated your 90,000, and the answer always goes on top. Well, let's finally look at the current liabilities. So these are the liabilities which I'm going to have, which will change in the coming year. And again, grade 10 and 11 work, we have our trade and other payables, and here I've got my short-term loan, which is the conversion from the long-term loan or the non-current liability. So let's have a look and see what it looks like. Here I've got my long-term liabilities. There I've got my 30,000 Rand. And can you see that I have converted it into a current liability? This short-term loan can be shown in current liabilities as a separate item, or alternatively, it can also be shown as part of trade and other payables. But again, I'm sure that you do know that. So, liabilities. The short-term loan and a bank overdraft can be under current assets, or they can be shown in the note. And if we go back to the slide, you will see that over here I have a bank overdraft. It has a 0 balance. I needn't have put it in, but I just put it in as a reminder that bank overdrafts are also part of current liabilities, or alternatively, they can also become part of the note, trade, and other payables. So, homework. Please learn the format of the balance sheet and the notes, and pretty please Learn the conversion of the investment from a fixed or tangible asset to a current asset, and likewise with loans. Learn that the portion that will be paid in the current year will be subtracted from the long-term liabilities and converted to a current liability, and can either be listed with the current liabilities or it may be included in the note trade and other payables. See you next time. Bye for now.